You've been lying to yourself for far too long, wearing that mask they gave you, the one that doesn't fit, pretending it's your face. But tell me, how does it feel? Every time you smile when you don't mean it? Every time you nod when you want to scream? Oh, it eats you alive, doesn't it? But no one sees it. No one cares to. To them, you're just manageable. A harmless little pawn, perfectly positioned on their board. But I'll let you in on a secret. If you want them to see you, not the version they created, but the real you, you've got to bury the version they built. Tear it apart, piece by miserable piece. Kill your old self. Burn it to ash. It's the only way to make them feel the emptiness they've been feeding you. And oh, when they feel it, when they finally see what you've become, it'll rot them from the inside out. Beautiful, isn't it? Let me explain something to you. Every single person who's hurt you, they did it because they knew they could. They saw the cracks in your armor, the parts of you that doubted yourself, and they dug their claws in. Why? Because weakness invites cruelty. It's like blood in the water, and they're the sharks. But here's the twist. They don't expect you to fight back. No, no, no. They expect you to fold, to break, to lie there bleeding while they feast it. But what if you didn't? What if, instead of patching up those cracks, you shattered the whole damn thing? What if you killed the version of yourself that they could control? Imagine it. The look in their eyes when they realize they've lost their grip on you. That's not just revenge, sweetheart. That's liberation. You see, life isn't a fairy tale, no matter how much they want you to believe it is. They sell you this dream of kindness and forgiveness, of second chances and happily ever afters. But the truth? The truth is much darker, much colder. Life doesn't reward the weak, it punishes them. And every time you let someone walk over you, every time you swallow your pain to keep the peace, you're handing life another nail for your coffin. So tell me, how many nails are you planning to give them before you finally wake up? Because here's the thing. People don't change for the better out of kindness or hope. They change because they're forced to. They change because the pain of staying the same becomes greater than the fear of the unknown. That's the key. Pain is your greatest weapon, your most loyal ally. Use it. Let it drive you, shape you, forge you into something they can't ignore, something they can't destroy. You want to know what separates the powerful from the pathetic? It's not strength. It's not intelligence. It's the willingness to do what needs to be done, no matter how ugly, no matter how brutal. You've got to learn to embrace the darkness, to let it fuel you instead of fighting it, because that's the only way to win in this world, by becoming the thing they fear most.
please take this short break from your video. We know how important the videos are to you. So all we ask from you is to support the channel by purchasing your special Inspire Network hoodie or Inspire Network coffee cup. Please enjoy the rest of the video.
Think about it. Who wins in the end? The sheep or the wolf? The wolf doesn't care about being liked or accepted. It doesn't apologize for its hunger, its ferocity. It simply takes what it wants, and it thrives. Be the wolf, not the sheep. Tear off that mask they gave you and show them what you're really made of. Make them regret every time they underestimated you, every time they ignored your potential. They'll call you crazy, of course. They always do when they're afraid. But here's the thing. Being called crazy by people who live in a delusion isn't an insult. It's a compliment. It means you've woken up, that you've seen the world for what it really is. And trust me, once you've seen it, there's no going back. So, what's it gonna be, huh? Are you going to keep playing their game, keep letting them hold the strings, or are you going to cut yourself loose? Because the moment you decide to stop being their puppet, that's the moment they lose their power. That's the moment you start to win. I can see it in you, you know. The anger, the hurt, the fire that's been smothered for so long. It's still there, waiting to be unleashed. So stop holding back. Stop apologizing for who you are. Kill your old self, the weak, broken version they created, and rise from the ashes as something they can't even comprehend. Because that's the only way to make them die from within, to make them choke on their own regret. You ever wonder why they all seem to move on so quickly? Why your absence doesn't create the hole you thought it would? It's because the version of you they've been dealing with, the one you've been so desperately clinging to, is disposable, replaceable. Do you think they lose sleep over a tool they can no longer use? Do you think they cry over the puppet that cut its strings? No, they laugh. They mock you. Because as long as you stay the same, as long as you play their game, you are nothing but a placeholder in their story. But here's the twist, kid. The moment you kill your old self, the moment you stop being what they expect, that's when they notice. That's when the story flips. Because people don't fear what they understand. They fear the unknown. You want to haunt them? You want to make them feel every ounce of the pain they've inflicted on you? Become something they can't predict, something they can't control. You think holding on to your old self keeps you safe, don't you? That if you just keep your head down, keep playing the nice guy, they'll eventually come around. They'll finally see your worth. Let me tell you something about people. They only value what they can't have. If you're always there, always giving, always forgiving, you're just the air they breathe, essential but unnoticed. But if you vanish, if you burn the bridges and become a ghost of their mistakes, that's when the air gets thick. That's when they choke on the silence you leave behind. So stop waiting for them to care. Stop hoping they'll wake up one day and apologize. because they won't. They never will. You've got to force their eyes open. Make them see the monster they've created. And the only way to do that is to shed your skin, to kill the version of you that begged for their approval and rise as something unrecognizable. You want an example? Fine. Let's talk about me. They thought they could define me, box me in, label me as just another broken man. But I didn't let their labels stick. I tore them off, piece by piece, and I made my own. Chaos, madness, unpredictability, these aren't flaws. They're weapons. And I use them to carve my name into the walls of their perfect little world.